And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Forget the lighting. I'm just in the other location. Of the three locations I normally film in, well, there's only two I regularly film in, and then there's the extra spot I'm in. It's just because, again, I didn't want to go upstairs. Dad's upstairs taking a nap, so I didn't want to try to disturb him or anything like that. So, from Matthew 77:2, we have the question of who wins in a fight, Dante or Goku. And don't blame me for making Dante look like he's just a guy eating ice cream. He doesn't look badass. It's like, this is the image I had. This is the image I'm using. This is the image I had of Goku. Deal. So in the grand scheme of versus conversations, who wins between these two? We know Goku's background inside and out. We know, he became the Super Saiyan, then became Super Saiyan God. Well, 2, 3, 4, thanks to Dama and GT or Dalba, and Super Saiyan God, so forth and so on. Dante, most of us know his story. Is the son, I believe, of the demon Sparta, and a human. He's half human, and he's works as a demon hunter. He works as a supernatural kind of investigator slash bounty hunter, and he fights multiple demons. His old brother from time to time. But he's overall not a bad guy. He's just, this kind of stoic, cocky, not stoic, but cocky, loner hero type character. Now, that being said, being half demon gives him many different abilities. He has many different weapons as well through his travels. And he's actually quite powerful. But the question is, who would win in a straight out fight? I think what I'm going to do here is break down their actual stats. You'd have speed, durability, strength slash power. I think that should be considered in the same category. Abilities, and then possible, if I didn't say skills, skill as well. So let's start off with the base one, speed. Who's the faster between them? Dante has always been exceptionally fast in this world, from him and Virgil cutting the raindrops, creating the cone feat, to if we get into some of the novelizations and gameplay footage and all that, not gameplay, but I mean like cutscenes, all that, to being well into light speed, being able to dodge and block lasers without any difficulty. The problem just comes down to the fact that Dragon Ball Z characters hit light speed pretty early on, and Goku just kept getting stronger and stronger in his base. If we just don't even go into Super, Goku was multiple times the speed of light before he hit Super Saiyan, or at least he was the speed of light when he hit Super Saiyan. We know he was around light speed, but even if we then he and his base got stronger. So if we scale that up, he's multiple times faster than light by the time we get to Dragon Ball Super. So if we just do a conservative number and say 10 times the speed of light, that means if you do the math on the Super Saiyan multipliers, he's 4,000 times the speed of light. That's just in Dragon Ball Z alone. And I'm being as conservative as I can those numbers. Then you get into Super Saiyan God territory, where you're now going quadrillions, trillions, quadrillions, quintillions, septillions. Like, you're getting to levels of speed that are just. And then you add instant transmission in, plus his ability to move through the time skip of hit. It's just levels of speed that Devil May Cry does not match up to. So Goku would take the edge in speed. Well, what about durability? The amount of damage these guys can take. This is where Dante definitely has an edge over Goku, because unlike Goku, he has an insane healing factor. Like, he's been skewered multiple times in a fight and just walked it off. Literally pulled himself out from being impaled and just healed up. It does have a limit, but it's still something Goku, for all of his feats, does not have. Goku with a healing factor would be broken. Because he could literally take the most lethal hit there is, come back, and now get a Zenkai from it. Or a near lethal hit, come back, and then get a Zenkai. It's nuts how broken Goku would be with a legit healing factor. But beyond that, we know that he's still strong enough to go toe-to-toe with individuals who are able to shape reality and shape universal level constructs, dimensional feats on that level. And he's able to go toe-to-toe and beat these individuals. So his durability, if we're highballing it, by the way, while looking up some feats, there is apparently some contention of how canon some feats are. I'm going to look at everything I can, just to make everyone happy. Or not happy, doesn't matter, I'm doing it. But still, that puts him definitely into the higher universal, or at least mid-universal tiers. Maybe low multiversal, depending on the level of constructs and how many are being created. But still, in the universal range. of durability. That would also translate to his power output as well, as he's able to, kind of one-shot these individuals who are, again, universal level individuals. What was it? Like, what was it? Mundo was the name, or Munda, something like that was the name of the demon he killed. But, again, Goku is going toe-to-toe, not just with universal level destroyers or planetary level destroyers or galactic level destroyers. No, multiversal level destroyer pluses. Jiren, multiversal. Beerus, when he clashed with him, even as weak as Super Saiyan God form, is a multiversal level individual. Goku Black, multi-level individual. And while he didn't straight out beat every one of them, he still is able to literally take shots of individuals who theoretically should be would be cracking universes without that much difficulty. So unfortunately, Goku takes the edge and inverse that to power, or reverse that to power, or flop that to power, whatever statement you want to use, whatever term. In regards to power, this is a guy whose punch clash with Beerus threatened the very existence of his own universe, which is about, roughly speaking, 1,500 times, at least that's what the calc is, bigger than our own universe. And the first Super Saiyan God form, he took the weakest version of it in a punch class, contributed to half that damage. So, it's unfortunately power output wise, Dante can't keep up. But what about skill? What about abilities? This is where it gets a little bit more contentious, because Goku certainly is the better hand-to-hand fighter, but Dante fights more with his sword anyway. Dante also has his Devil Trigger, which that's his transformation, which allows him to go full-on demon mode for a while, which can be used kind of like as a Super Saiyan amp, if you will. While Goku is, I think, certainly the better hand-to-hand fighter, Dante is the better swordsman. And that can actually even out, specifically if you're at least able to keep up with an opponent. So I'll say that's more or less a wash for just straight skills. They're about even. But when it comes to abilities, Goku surprisingly is, he's not one note. Yeah, Ki Blast, sure, but we know he can read minds. He can teleport with instant transmission. We know he can do the God Bind. We know he can actually manipulate Ki to resuscitate individuals. There is a lot you could do with Ki. It's just that Dante literally has God knows how many different forms of weapons, different styles as well, including the freezing of time with Quicksilver. Dante has a major versatility advantage over Goku. Unfortunately, as we've kind of seen from the scaling, while Dante at his highest, in any continuity at his highest, definitely calcs in somewhere in a universal level. And I've heard some people say he's actually greater than that, but I cannot find feats that really, like Dante, Emily Cry feats. Let me just see what some of his best feats, just so I'm clear on his scaling here. Let's see what some of these feats are. Like, is he, let's see here, let's see here. Terror, Spartan, okay, well, that doesn't mean anything. Powers and abilities. Holy manipulation. Let's see. Weapon control, empathic attack potency, building level, solar system multi. Okay, so there's apparently a couple alleged multiversal feats. It's apparently destroyed the triad structure of the underworld at one point, which apparently is allegedly a multiversal feat, but that's the structure of the underworld. It's not destroying the underworld. And the underworld it's his own dimension, right? He also matched Sid using Abigail's power while in base, surpassed Sparta's powers casually, defeated alternate versions of Mundus. Okay, I have seen that. But Mundus was a universal level individual, not a multiversal level individual. This is where something like versus fandom battles kind of seems to get a little, seems to misinterpret feats. The most I can find is Mundus Mundus did apparently start verging into other timelines, which again does put him into low multiverse, would theoretically put him into low multiversal. Even if I were to scale Dante to low multiversal, Goku is a much higher complex multiversal, as we've seen. He verges on going beyond a multiversal at points, but he generally stays into high multiversal range. So on just the power output level alone, Goku, if nothing else, on speed alone, Goku it blitzes Dante. He does. Like I don't want to say I should have put this in the speed round. And I don't think I should have, because if Dante at his peak is in fact a low multiversal individual, then he actually should be able to fight on par with Goku for some time. The problem here is that he actually just doesn't have a means to beat Goku outright. Goku in base is as strong, if not stronger, than Super Saiyan God at this point. We know that. We know that God Ki is integrated into his base form, and that was able to destroy massive universal constructs that are of universes that are much larger than the average. And then you add Super Saiyan base multipliers on there, then even Super Saiyan God, then version currently has, plus Super Saiyan Blue. Then you go to Ultra Instinct. It's just a level of power that is well out of Dante's range, unfortunately. Just speed-wise alone, he'd blitz him. Power output wise, he sees him just, if Dante's like here, Goku's like up there in terms of power output. And that's, by the way, if I hear one person, if I see one person do say Glazer or is glazing Goku, by the way, that is just, okay, maybe I'm getting old. What the hell does glaze mean? I get it's basically someone propping up their character because they love their character, but is it supposed to be like, if we're talking dirtiness, just wank and then glaze? Is that the term, or is like glazing a donut or something like that? I don't know, but if I see one person, I don't normally ban people from the comments, but if I see one person use the term glazer, you're banned from the comments, because you're not a fan. You're a troll. You're someone who can't accept someone has a different opinion based on the information they have, and you're sad. I've seen so many people, I'm going through like other videos and seeing comments. I'm like, I've seen so many people act this way. I'm like, this is not how fandom needs to act. This is just sad. You make me sad. Anyway. No, but yeah, normally I wouldn't. The only time I ban people from the comments is if they're being objectively just disgusting or disrespectful or racist. But I will say this: if you're going to be toxic for no other reason than being toxic, I will ban you. I didn't ban the guy in my, what was it? The Machia? No, it's was it the Soul Eater versus Ruby Death Battle prediction? I didn't block him because he was just being an idiot. That's all he was. He was just being a complete dumbass. And not making himself look like, everyone was like against, like he was one of those idiots too who either didn't care that he was wrong or couldn't seem to grasp that he was wrong. Like his brain couldn't compute it. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, unfortunately, Goku would just overwhelm Dante very fast, very quickly. Let me put it this way: if it's the early stages of the fight, Dante has to like just keep increasing his power just to keep up with Goku, he'd actually start to give Goku a pretty strong fight. But once Goku took it seriously, there wouldn't really be much else to say at that point. Even something like Quicksilver is moot because we know in Dragon Ball we've seen it. Powerful enough ki can break through time stops. We saw that with Goku versus him. So Quicksilver's actually a moot ability here. And Goku's gotten leagues stronger since then. Like, he's probably an equivalent of that Goku with the Kaioken back then. But I digress. What do you think? Do you think, what do you think? Do you think I'm completely out of line here and that Dante is the guy who's going to win the day? And if so, actually put some legitimate feats, because the canon of these games gets a little wonky after a while. So if you know some legitimate feats, let me know. But even so, if you're going to defend it, be sure to understand that yes, Dante might be multiversal, but Goku definitively is multiversal. So if you're going to argue that point, you can't be biased against Goku. You got to be fair to Goku, understand that level of power as well. That doesn't mean I'm right in terms of Dante would lose. I'm just saying, if you're going to argue it, you got to argue from that. You got to argue fairly, not from a biased standpoint. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.